Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Spicy Divorce Party Planner TV show. I'm your host, Spice, and today I have a very beautiful and very intelligent woman by the name of Joana Lopez. I'm going to give you a bio on her right now. She is a divorce and breakup recovery coach with a background in neuroscience, clinical hypnosis, and emotional freedom techniques. She runs workshops, retreats, and one-on-one sessions to clear old unconscious patterns and relationship blocks. She is the founder of Reinventing Hearts, a divorce and breakup recovery company. She has been featured on Global News, radio, and the Toronto Star.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Cassandra.
Hi, Joanne. So, how are you feeling this morning?
Well, morning for you, because for me it's afternoon.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Jumping into that, like, what city are you representing today? Where are you at tonight?
I wouldn't say I represent the city, but I am from Toronto.
Toronto, Canada then, right?
Yeah, Canada.
I love having my international guests. This is so fun, and like it's exciting because we're reaching new audience and new territories. So that's wonderful. Thank you for being a part of our show today.
No, it's a pleasure. It's an honor to be here.
Now, we got a lot of questions for you, all the divorcees and singles out there. Like, we need a therapist in the worst way. You have no idea. So first of all, why don't you tell us, like, how did you get into this field, or what prompted you to become a therapist?
To be a therapist, or to be, well, I mean, to be a therapist, I wouldn't say it. I think your question, you mean like to be a divorce and breakup recovery coach?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, with my career, with everything that I'm doing, I've been doing like life and business coaching for a long time, and obviously I made a transition to breakup and divorce recovery after a personal story. It's always that way, isn't it?
Yes.
and yeah, so I was hit by a very painful breakup, painful separation, and I saw the need for breakup recovery, especially because, as I said, I was already a business and life coach. I had a lot of understanding about how the mind works. I had a lot of mindset. And even with all of that, it was so painful and it was so hard getting over it that it made me think, like, God, if someone like me, who, with the background that I have, and with all the understanding, is suffering so much and is taking it so long, I can only imagine for people that don't have the resources that I have. So, in a new career,
that's true. It's very true, because I do, like, sometimes I go do deliveries and I meet on one-on-one with people, and some of them they work at the fast food restaurants, and they're telling me, like, I tell my plan divorce parties, and they're telling me the same thing. They're going through a divorce party, so their means are probably very limited, like you said. So I don't know if they all have access to have a recovery coach or a therapist. So it's great that you're able to be this, like, an angel for them, that you can answer and you can give them some guidance. I mean, they need it so desperately, and I'm so talented. Like,
breakups can be very painful. Like, going through a divorce, going through a separation could be very, very painful, and I know it firsthand. I guess that's why this topic in this career is so close to my heart. Like, it does means a lot. It means a lot to me.
And I'm glad that you're coming from a personal part. You're not just like their therapist, and you have actual experienced this, so you know what it's like.
Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you.
Now, I have a question, because sometimes I deal with this on my own. If you're in a relationship with someone, should you have social media accounts? Because sometimes it causes, like, major issues. How do you feel about that, or how should we handle that?
Say that again. Say your question again.
If you're in a relationship, should you have social media accounts? Should you have an Instagram? Should you have a Facebook? Should you have LinkedIn, YouTube?
What do you mean exactly by that? Like, having social accounts? Do you mean like being on social media if you're in a relationship?
Yes. Like, if you're in a relationship, should you be on Instagram? Should you be on Facebook? Or do you think it's causing, like, relationship issues? Or how can we handle that the best way without arguing over, like?
I think it all depends. I think I hear what you're saying, which is like, should we have social media accounts if we are in a relationship? And what I hear from that is an issue that is underneath that, what it seems that to be the issue, right? So it's not really the issue. The issue is not about having social media accounts. The issue, from what I could probably perceive, has to do with either ignoring the partner or not being faithful to the partner, or the partner not feeling secure or safe in the relationship. Perhaps the one of the other person feels like insecure, or feels like, I don't know, that someone is not being faithful in the relationship, that might happen. So to answer your question, I don't see the problem of having social media accounts. It all depends of what is the approach and what is the real problem, right? Because the problem you're asking me, can we have social media accounts? The answer is yes. Why would you not have that, right? Like, I mean, it's part of our social styles nowadays. The important thing to address here is not the social media accounts. What you want to address is what is really the issue here. The issue has to do with trust. Does the issue has to do with, does it has to do with trust? I think it will be the number one. Like, does the partner feels like that someone is not being faithful? Does it, is it like, why are you using the social medias for? Like, are you looking for someone else in the social media? Is it distracting you in that way? So I think that will be my answer. Like, you kind of want to look at what is really the issue about the social accounts and address that.
So how should you go about that? Like, say I have a business account and like men hit me up on there, or they're, they made it known that they're interested in me. Yeah. Should I respond back to them, or should I close my account down altogether?
Well, it all depends, right? Like, why would you? So if you are in a relationship and you are happy in a relationship, you want to obviously maintain that respect and that balance in your relationship, right? So if someone is hitting you on the internet, unless your relationship is not stable or is not firm and solid, it will tempt you to kind of like want to answer or see what this is about. But if your relationship is solid and strong, you will not even take the time to talk to these people. Why would you? Like, I get all kinds of messages all the time. Mm-hmm. First of all, sometimes I don't open them. Like, I have a small team, and now, thanks goodness, like they get rid of those messages that are not related to business, or they are not leading to clients, or something that is related to what we do, right? Mm-hmm. But when I see the messages, I mean, okay, people will do what they do, right? They will reach out, and it's not their fault, and it's your responsibility to simply not engage on that if you are in a solid relationship. And in terms of the partner, what do you do with the partner? Do you tell them? What's the purpose of telling them? Do you want them to get jealous? Do you want them to know, oh, there is a lot of people that want me? For what purpose? So I wouldn't even engage on that. Like, if I'm in a solid, healthy relationship, why would I even disturb my partner? Why would I even disturb him with knowing that he knows? I'm pretty sure he knows that in social media, he knows that probably people are hitting on me all the time, but he trusts me. He knows what we have is solid. So I don't have the need to tell him or to disturb him. And he knows that I'm sure he knows, he has mentioned it, like he knows that, but it is something that is beyond our control. Yeah, it is what it is. We are in a vast pool. Does that answer your question?
I have like another question. Like, what if it's the guy, he has like a auto page on Instagram, but yet he keeps posting pictures of himself like single, but yet he's in a relationship. Do you think like he's posting those pictures to get attention from women, or he's adding women on? Is that an issue, or is it once again back to the trust as you're mentioning?
Yes, you got it. You got it. It goes back to the trust, right? If there are things that in the relationship that is not solid, that is something that I think I posted today or something like that. I posted something, a quote from Brad Jace, that it says, "A trigger is just an open wound that hasn't healed yet, that even the slightly touch of a feather will make it stink." And, True. And what I mean by that is that if you still have unhealed wounds about something that he did before, or some other things that it has been accumulated, if he posted something or if he does something, it will trigger something else, right? Mm-hmm. And that's just an indicator that shows you what you need to do. What are the parts or the areas that needs healing for your relationship, or the things that you need to attend in the relationship, right? And And yeah, so, and sometimes, for example, if there is a trust issue here in this relationship and you feel like you can't trust him, you're obviously gonna feel like unsafe in the relationship when he posts things, and you're gonna probably try to do the same, and you're gonna probably try to tell him, oh, there are people sending me messages. It becomes like a game, right? If you play games with the other person will play games with you. So if you want a solid and healthy relationship, you want to stop playing games, because if you play games, they will play games too.
Okay. Is there any other suggestion about that particular relationship? Do you think they should go to counseling, or it just ends there? Just don't play games with one another.
That definitely. And in terms of counseling, yes, counseling is always good for the relationship. Now, here's the thing. Relationships are assignments and are here to show us the part of us that need healing the most. Relationships are here to show us what unfinished businesses we still have that we need to heal or we need to attend in order for us to be able to be in a healthy relationship, so to speak. Let me say this in a slightly different way. When we are in a relationship and there are problems and there are things that makes you feel the same way that you felt probably with the other guy and with the guy before and with the guy before. So that's an indicator that's telling you that there is something that needs attention right there, that is showing you, right? So now we can ask the partner, can we go to counseling? Can we do this together? And most likely they would say yes if they are invested in the relationship, and some might react and say, no, we don't need counseling, I don't want counseling. Either or, I have to tell you, Cassandra, that the responsibility to heal this, whether it's with them or without them, is yours. You want to heal this yourself. You want to heal this for yourself, and then take responsibility for your own healing. Heal whatever it is that's making you feel. And then after that, things are going to start shifting, because when we change our perception, when we heal our own wounds, the way that we see things start changing. We start cleaning our, there is a part in our brain called the reticular activated system, which is the part that, those are the filters that make us perceive reality the way that we perceive it. So when we heal and when we do the inner work, basically we clean those filters. Now, if this is just a projection, once you do the healing, you're going to be able to see this person in a completely new, different way. If this is not a projection, and this person is not the person that you are meant to be with, and that person is just here to show you the unfinished business that you needed to take care of, that person will start moving. You're going to start taking action. You're going to start seeing in a different way that person will actually move out of your experience, and what you want will truly come here. So
nice.
In a short version here, you want to take responsibility for your own healing, because no matter what happens, it will improve the relationship. And if it doesn't improve, means that yes, there is something else that he has to do, and he has to decide that if he wants to do, and you guys have to decide if you want to do it together. But taking responsibility for your own part will already impact that, and you will be able to actually take a decision from that place, whether is this what I truly want or not.
Okay. I have one more question about social media. Is it fair that they don't allow you on their Instagram pages, like they block you? If you're in a relationship, should you be able to view their accounts, or do you think they have something to hide?
What do you think?
I think they have something to hide. What do you think? You agree?
I would say it all depends. Like, I mean, not everything is what it seems. Things are not always the way that it seems. And again, it goes back to the trust, right? It goes back to how solid and healthy is the relationship. First of all, what are the reasons why they block you, and how long have you been dating them for? There is so many parts here that it's not a simple answer. It all depends on all the parts that come together. Like, first of all, how long have you been dating this person for? What is the reason why? What is the reason why you want to, first of all, go into their pages? It means that you have an intuition that there is something there, or you might feel like they are hiding something. So always trust your gut, trust your gut feeling. Number three, what is the reason why they are not accepting you in their social media, and for how long have you been dating them? That's very important, right? And if there is a valid reason or solid reason why they don't join social media with other people, yeah, so it all depends. Like, I can't really give you an answer about that question because it has to do with all the aspects that play part of it, right? So it all depends. And I think in this case of what you're sharing here, I think it goes back to the trust, which is, it is like the common theme in here.
Okay. I have another one. It says, while in a relationship, should you be able to answer your partner's cell phone? We have all these questions for like the divorcees and single people on our show.
I don't think we need to answer someone else's phone, because I think it's a personal. I think it goes back to the trust in here. Like, I mean, if the person wants to answer, it's because they feel that there is something else that the other person is hiding. So it goes back to working in trusting. And usually, if someone is struggling with trust, it didn't start in this relationship. It happens before. It has happened to them before, and I think it's a good indicator that they need to heal that part. That there is something that they need to work about the trust, because they feel like there is something that probably the partner is hiding. I don't believe that it's just started with this person. Based on my experience and my years in divorce and breakup recovery, I know that it has happened to them before. So it is something that they need to pay attention. Now, to answer specifically to your question, I do believe that respecting in a loving way and trusting your partner is the most healthy way to actually have a relationship. Because if you trust them, if you are in a relation where you feel safe, you feel they love you, if you feel they respect you, you don't feel the need to answer their phone. Because you don't feel the need, you don't even think about it. Because obviously, why would you answer their phone? Like, it's their phone, is a personal thing. It's their phone, and one is their phone, and second of all, depending on what kind of business they do or what kind of work they do, it's not a land phone, right? We're talking about cell phone. So it is. Yeah, I would say no. I wouldn't find it healthy. I think I will find it intrusive, and that all will lead to not trusting. Yeah.
Okay. I've heard before that if you cheated on your partner, you should not tell your partner. Do you believe that, or do you think you should tell your partner if you cheated on them, or if they cheated on you, should they come to you and tell you that they cheated on you?
Okay, say that again, the question.
Okay. If you cheated on your partner, should you sit down and tell them? Or if they cheated on you, should they tell you, or should they just not tell you and leave you in the dark?
Okay, so it all depends. It all depends what's the intention. What's the intention here? The truth will always set you free, for sure. The truth will always set you free. Now, what is the intention here? What is the intention of hiding it? What is the intention of saying it? Intention is powerful. Intention is everything. So if someone cheat on someone, and for whatever reason they did it, they want to continue the relationship, a relationship based on that lie might not last, because it will just add on, right?
Yeah.
I will definitely say the first step on that is healing. The first step on that is healing. Like, before you even talk to your partner, before you even tell them, because if you cheat on them, there is an unconscious block there happening. There is an unconscious block. So I wouldn't tell the partner right away. I wouldn't recommend to tell the partner right away. I will actually attend to the healing. Like, what is the reason behind why someone cheated? What is the reason why someone cheated? Like, what are they missing? What is making them either sabotage the relationship, or what is making them sabotage the relationship, or what is making them depending of the emotions that cause the cheating. Like, I mean, if the cheating caused like embarrassment, make them feel whatever it is, the emotion that the cheating caused them, I will address that emotion. Like, I mean, what is making me sabotage myself or put myself in this situation. Heal that first. Heal that first. Forgive yourself first, and then I will definitely, depending. I think either or. If you want to, if after doing the healing, it always the filters get completely clean, and you know exactly what's next. You know exactly what you need to do. So if after doing the healing, you want to continue with that relationship, I will probably encourage to be honest. But I know that from that place, from the place of have done some healing, you are going to be able to approach and share that with your partner in a completely different way than if you don't do healing. That's just going to be a whole mess. So, and from that place, you and your partner can decide whether you guys want to stay together, right? So that's what I would recommend. Now, we are intuitive beings. Like we can feel that when we feel that something is off, our partners also feel that something is off. When we're feeling something, the other person can feel it. So there is really no hiding, even though you're not saying it with words, like you can feel something is off, right? So in this case, I will definitely say, yes, have that conversation, but do some healing before having that conversation. And if you don't wanna continue that relationship after doing the healing, then make a decision if you want to tell them that you cheat on them or you don't. Because if you don't want to be with them, telling them that you cheat on them, will that hurt them, and would it be necessary? And if not, and if we just want to hurt them, I would just end the relationship and maybe not tell them in that moment, but maybe later on when I don't know, time pass, and if it feels right, you can, I don't know, reach out and say it, but there is no point to hurt them, right? Like, I mean, if you are moving on anyways. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. When should a person throw in the towel in a relationship?
I think it is all depending of what it is that what is it that we are dealing with, right? As I say to you, I believe that if a relationship is going sour or is not going to a good place, that is the best, absolutely best time to do healing. I mean, to really do healing. Why? And there is exceptions for this. Like if you are being abused, like physical abuse, this is the exception for that. Like if you being like, yeah, physical abuse, like get out of there as soon as you can, right? Mm-hmm. There is no question about that. But if you're not dealing with physical abuse, and it's just maybe an emotional abuse, and you can't handle this relationship anymore, like it just got to that point where you can't handle this, I will take responsibility for my own healing, because you bring yourself with you everywhere you go. So leaving the relationship will not solve the issues without doing the healing. So if you are in this relationship and it's being a mess and it's just causing you pain, I will take that opportunity and use that to heal, to do some healing work. And how do you know what you need to heal? You know the things that you are feeling. You know what are the things that this relation make you feel. Does it make you feel unworthy? Does it make you feel that you're not good enough? Does it make you feel that you are walking on eggshells? Does it make you feel that you can trust them? So pay attention of what is it that you're feeling, because that's your indicator of the things that you need to heal. Right? So what are the emotions that you feel? And those are the things that you know that you need to heal. So I will take responsibility for my own healing first. Okay. And from that place, when you do healing, things are going to start making more and more sense. Things are going to start making more sense. And from that place, you can decide if this person is meant to be for you. When you heal, as I mentioned earlier, our reticular activated system filters get completely clean, and we perceive our partner in a completely different way. And if not, it allows us to see things for what they really are, and it gives us the strength to move on with love, peace, and harmony. Mm-hmm. And I would recommend to do that before you end the relationship, because here's the thing: you guys are gonna love this. When people break up for one reason and one reason only, regardless of what it is that's happening, whatever the reason that you think you wanted to end the relationship. The reason why people break up, the reason why people ask for divorces, etc., is when the pain of being with someone becomes bigger than the pain of losing them. When the pain of being with them is bigger than the pain of losing them is when I'm out. I can't handle it. I can't, right? Yeah. So if you are in the middle of a heated moment, you might want to say, I'm done. I'm done with you. I break up. I don't want to be with you anymore. And that's coming from a heated moment.
Yeah.
But once you break up with that person, all the series of emotions start coming on, and you have to go through the healing of the breakup, of the divorce process, on and on. So going back to my point, and this is going to come together very nicely. So if you have to deal with the process of healing after a breakup, and it's very painful, we all been through breakups, and it's a whole process. Doesn't make sense to, if you are with that person and you know that there are some healing that you need to do, because you are, as I said to you guys earlier, relationships are assignments. The relationships are here to show us the part of us that need healing the most. That's what relationships are here to reflect on us, what unfinished businesses we still have that are making us block the love that we deserve. So the relationships that you are having are here to show you. So you are here in this relationship. It's not a coincidence that you feel the way you feel with this person. So doesn't it make sense to take responsibility and heal that before you break up with them? Because when you heal that while you're still with them, it's actually easier. Because if for whatever reason, maybe it was your own projections, your own unhealed wounds that were causing all of that, when you heal, when you clean your filters, you're going to be able to perceive them in a different way. You're going to be able to interact with them in a different way. You're going to be able to attract different things from them. And maybe you're going to have the chance to save that relationship. And if they are not, then they are going to move out of your life with love, peace, and harmony. But if you break up with them in the midst of a heated moment, you still have to do all of this work. Yes. You still need to do all of this work of healing yourself, plus dealing with the breakup healing. So it's adding more. So that's basically my point of that. If you are going through a rough patch in your relationship, attend to your healing, attend to your wounds. It will allow you to perceive your partner in a different way. And from that place, you can decide.
Makes sense to me. When should a person seek advice from a therapist?
I wouldn't be able to give you the right answer for that. I think it all depends on when the person is ready. I do believe that we are all in our own spiritual journeys, and there are people that are ready. There are people that like to suffer a little bit longer before they do something. We all have. Yeah. And there are people that like to take action right away when they get hit in that moment. That say, I'm not repeating the same mistakes again. I'm not keep doing this. I am gonna take charge. I'm gonna do something. And yeah, like I've done it before. I've been here, and I know it's not easy. I'm gonna do something different, because if you want to have different results, especially in your romantic life, you need to show up with different patterns, different behaviors, and different energy. And if you've been trying to do it on your own and you haven't had results, you know that you have to do something else. There are people that can help you accelerate the process, like way faster. So I think it all depends on the person. And as I say, sometimes people like to suffer a little bit more before they decide to do something about it.
Okay. Sounds good to me. How can hypnosis help a client going through a breakup?
Hypnosis?
Yes.
Well, hypnosis is one of those type of therapies that works with the unconscious brain. I wouldn't say hypnosis is the only thing that will help people. Any type of therapy that works with the unconscious brain will help someone to accelerate the process. So, but specifically about hypnosis, since you asked, so hypnosis works with the larger part of our brain. So we have the conscious mind and we have the unconscious mind. The conscious mind is the part of you that things rationalize, makes sense, uses logic, makes sense of things. That's your logic mind. That's your conscious mind, and that's 10% of your brain. The 90% of your brain is the part of you that you're that you're not conscious of it, like your butt on the chair right now or on the couch, you breathing in and breathing out without thinking, driving without thinking if you drive, or anything else, like anything that's unconscious. Like for example, a cut on our arm, the tissue that gets regenerated, from that cut, that's unconscious mind. So it's 90% of the brain. So hypnosis works directly with the unconscious mind. So that's why hypnosis can accelerate the process for someone. But hypnosis is not the only thing.
Wow, okay. I've never tried that. I might have to try that one these days.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, what is an emotional freedom technique? I've never heard of that before. What is that?
Emotional freedom techniques Emotional freedom technique is a type of therapy that works with the unconscious brain as well. So there is a part in our brain called the amygdala, and the amygdala is responsible for the fight and flight mechanism. So when we're going through, for example, through the pain of a breakup or a divorce, the brain releases a bunch of chemicals, right? So all of the things that we're experiencing is a psychological reaction that's happening in the brain. So with EFT and linking it to what I'm trying to explain here. So with the amygdala, sorry, not with EFT, with the amygdala. So since the amygdala is responsible for the fight and flight mechanism and for everything that causes stress, fear, worry, jealousy, all of those emotions, like is the amygdala is responsible for that. There are meridian points in our body that are connected directly to the amygdala, that when you tap on them with the specific statements, it basically deactivates the spell of emotions that you're feeling, the emotions, in a matter of minutes. And the reason why that happens is, first of all, because the meridian points are connected to that part of the brain, and because with EFT, you are working directly, again, with the unconscious brain. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. It sure does. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Can you tell us about your retreats, where they are located, and what we can expect if we attend one?
There is no retreats right now.
No, because of the virus, right? Yeah.
We don't have retreats right now, but hopefully soon. I will let you guys know as soon as we are able to run retreats. But yes, hopefully soon. All we have right now available, we do virtual workshops. We have actually a workshop that it's not ready yet, but I think it's going to come in August. But we do like one-on-one sessions, group sessions, and all of that. Okay.
How long does it usually take to move on after a breakup?
Very good question. It all depends. Again, it all depends. I mean, I wouldn't be able to give you an exact answer. I wouldn't be able to give you an exact answer without knowing how long the person is without knowing what the person is doing for the healing. Without knowing that, is hard, right? Like without knowing the full story, first of all, the full story, and how long they not how long. Let me rephrase that. Without knowing the full story and what they're doing for their healing, so that's a little bit tough. But what I can tell you is that what I've seen in my practice as a divorce and breakup recovery that can keep people stuck the most is not being able to accept that the relationship ended, that things happen the way that it happened, that like staying in regret, like I wish I did this sooner, or I wish I did that differently, or why did this happen, or sometimes holding secretly the illusion that you might go back with them. That can keep people stuck for a long time, right? So it can take you, it can be very fast depending on what you're doing again. But if without knowing what someone is doing, it will be hard to tell. If you decide to do healing and you are healing with the unconscious brain, it could be very fast. Like, I'm not exaggerating. Like, I had a client that she was stuck in a relationship for 18 years in a toxic relationship. Very, very painful. I mean, it was very toxic. And after she and I started working together for, I think it was 7 weeks, like a month and a half. Yeah, she was completely on the other side.
Oh, wonderful.
And the reason why that's possible is because we were working directly with the unconscious mind. And 10 versus 90 is a simple math, right? Like, it doesn't sense why it could be very fast. So if you're asking yourself how long it's going to take me to get over my ex, what am I doing to get over my ex? As is the second question you want to ask. And if you are not doing anything yet, my recommendation, and I hope you take it very serious, is that you do whatever it is that you do, whether you hire a coach, a therapist, do healing on your own, whatever it is that you do, make sure that you are working directly with the unconscious mind, because otherwise you're going to be working with the conscious mind, with traditional therapy, which it will take you way, way longer. I have a lot of clients that come to me that they've been struggling with the pain of their breakup or their divorce for years. Like I had a client that she was struggling for 10 years after the relationship ended. So people can't get stuck for a long time.
10 years.
So do your healing with working directly with the unconscious mind. That's my advice.
Okay, great. You'll have to explain to us like some of those techniques if you can, or do we have to go see you and then you tell us about that?
No, well, I'm saying it already here. I hope people took notes. I'm saying it here. I mean, there are different things that you can do. I mean, I personally do hypnosis. Hypnosis is fantastic. It's very known for what's called for the that works directly with unconscious mind. I love hypnosis. I study clinical hypnosis, so I use that a lot. I love EFT. It's one of the most simplest, fastest way to actually work with the unconscious brain and actually do healing. It can accelerate the process very fast in a matter of minutes. I mean, not saying that you're going to get over it in a matter of minutes, but it starts releasing and removing your blocks like very fast. The NLP works directly with unconscious mind, and there are many NLP practitioners out there that can help you heal and remove your unconscious blocks and be able to accelerate the process. So those are the ones that I use. Those are the practices that I use. I created, as an EFT practitioner, I created an advanced EFT method specific for breakup recovery, and that is what most people, obviously, that come to see me are dealing with. Okay. In problems with their relationship. So basically I'm giving you all. So you don't have to work with me only. Like, I mean, if my recommendation is that no matter what you do, no matter who you hire, no matter if you hire a coach, a therapist, or you try to go on this journey on your own, make sure that it's unconscious healing, that whatever practices, whatever tools, whatever techniques they do are working directly with the unconscious brain. Because again, if you do traditional therapy, in which traditional therapy is like they will just talk, right? That's traditional therapy. Is great. It feels good, but it only works with 10% of the brain, and it's gonna take you long. When someone comes to me with all love and respect and say to me, I've been with my psychologist for 5 years, in my mind is, you have to fire your psychologist. I'm kidding. But so make sure that whatever it is that you do is unconscious healing. And I mean, the ones that I mentioned here are just obviously the ones that I use. There are many other things that people can research, but for sure, that's my big advice for you guys.
Is this a new technique? Because I've never heard of unconscious training before I met you. I just heard of traditional therapists. Is this new?
I would say that, there is a lot of people. It's not that it's new. I mean, the unconscious brain is just our brain, right? This brain is, I would say that not a lot of people work with the unconscious brain. And that's why it takes us a little bit longer. And I mean, that's one of the reasons why I do what I do, because this is my mission. I do believe that it doesn't have to take us longer. We don't have to wait years and years and years and years and years healing from emotional pain and keep carrying the baggage to the next relationship and to the next relationship and wonder what the heck is wrong. Like, we no longer need to be dealing with that for years. I do believe that as we heal, the world heals because we pass things to other people in an unconscious way. And going back to your question, is this new? I don't think it's new. Like, I mean, there is a lot of people that talk about the unconscious brain like for years and years and generations through generations. Not a lot of people use unconscious healing. A lot of people do traditional therapy. And and I mean, not to talk bad about traditional therapy, but it doesn't really remove your unconscious blocks. It keeps you, it just massages the pain, we could say. And yeah, so it's not new. It's not new, but not a lot of people practice or work with unconscious brain.
That sounds fascinating. I think my audience is going to be really intrigued by this. I hope they look you up because I think it's just wonderful. I've never heard of it before. So I think our audience is going to love, meeting up with you online and checking out your different techniques. Should a person stay in a relationship if their partner is constantly on the phone, like 24/7? If they're constantly looking at their phone while they're with you? Are they going on a date with you, like to go eat, and they're like on their phone? Like for me personally, if I go on a date and the guy's sitting there looking at the phone, I'm like, oh God, it's a total turn off. But say you're in a relationship, should they still be like constantly on their phone while they're sitting there next to you? And or is that how everyone is now because of social media? And
what's the question? Say the question again. What's the question out of this, from this topic, what you're sharing? What's the exact question?
I'm wondering, like, if you're in a relationship with a person and they're constantly on their cell phone, should you stay with them, or how should you handle that situation?
Well, your question is, would they stay with them? How do you handle that situation? Okay. Question number one: how do you stay with them? I don't think that's enough reason to leave someone, right? Like, I mean, and again, going back to my first explanation about your first question, I believe problems are only layers. It's not really the problem. Like when you have a problem or something that bothers you, it's just a layer of a layer of a layer of a layer. That is usually another reason underneath of the problem that we are seeing here, right? So I will approach this the same way that I've been answering basically all my questions to you, Cassandra. What's the feeling how does that make me feel? Does that make me feel ignored? Does that make me feel I'm not good enough? What does that make me feel? What's the unconscious block, we could say here, that's making me attract a partner that keeps ignoring me? Why do I keep attracting someone who is not giving me my place? What is it about me? And I'm sorry, guys, I'm making it about you because you are the one who is in charge about your own healing and about your own life. You cannot control how other people behave, but you can control and take charge of your own life. So that's why I keep referring to you. But so the question is, what is it about me that keeps attracting this type of men or this type of women that keep ignoring me or making me feel like I'm not worthy or I'm not valuable for them to actually give me their attention? What is it about me that I keep attracting? What is it that I need to heal in order for me to attract something else from either this person or someone else? So everything that we're experiencing in the relationship, again, relationships are assignments and are here to show us what we need to heal the most. Are signs, are indicators that are telling you what you need to heal. Leaving the person will not do anything because you bring yourself with you everywhere you go. So that won't solve the problem, my friend. So you know exactly what I am going to say. You need to heal.
I totally agree with you because some people say like you run away from your situation. I totally agree with what you're saying.
So yeah, so you need to do the healing, you need to do the work, and from that place, you will know what to do. You can totally attract different type of partner or a different behavior from the current partner.
Okay. What happens to a person's brain after a breakup, a divorce?
Person's brain? You mean like what happens in the brain when people go through the breakup?
Yeah.
I would say when people are going through a separation, there is a psychological reaction that happens. Like it's not that the brain changes, or it's not that that something happens in the brain, but basically the behind the scenes, what we don't see, because we're seeing everything that's happening outside, right? We are seeing that, like, I can't live without them, I love them, or I miss them, and you're feeling like all of these ups and down feelings. You're feeling all that, but there is a lot of things happening in the behind scenes, in your brain, in your mind. There is a lot of things happening here. And to answer your question, what happens there, again, as I explained earlier, so we have a part in our brain called the amygdala, and the amygdala is responsible for the fight and flight mechanisms. So when we're going through a breakup, when we're going through a separation, it basically, that part of the brain releases a bunch of chemicals, which are the psychological reactions that we feel, the emotions that we feel, whatever it is that we feel, either if it's sad, loneliness, rejection, or we feel like whatever it is that we're feeling, that's the brain releasing chemicals. Now, this is gonna make a lot of sense to you, and you guys are gonna love this. When we're having when we are at certain place in our home, or that reminds us of our ex, that is a trigger right there. If there is you are looking at something and oh, that just reminds me of him, reminds me of her, the brain will get triggered, right? And then it will release those chemicals. Now, when the brain is going through that process, when you are going through the emotional pain of a breakup, that triggers the amygdala big time, because, as I said earlier, the amygdala is there for survival mechanisms. So when a big change is about to happen, like a breakup or a divorce, the brain freaks out. That part of the brain freaks out completely, and it does whatever it takes to keep things the same. It does whatever it takes to keep things the same, because change represents danger for that part of the brain, because it's there for survival mechanisms. So it's going to do whatever it takes to keep things the same, which means that is why it's like you completely forgot the reason why you broke up with them in the first place, or why you got out of that relationship. You forget completely about that. And your mind is just sending you all these images of how amazing they are, the way that they used to touch you, the way they used to do this and that, and you start putting your ex on a pedestal. It just makes you forget why you were unhappy in the first place with them, and it just put them on a pedestal. Yeah. And the amygdala does that. That part of the brain does that because it's trying to keep you safe. It's trying to keep things the same, because again, change for that part of the brain represents danger. So
that makes sense to me, because you're kind of comfortable, or that's, instead of going out, you're in fear. I understand what you're saying.
And that's exactly when we start doing all kinds of crazy stuff, like calling them, sending messages, promising, I promise I will not do that, I will change, I will do whatever you want, because it seems that the only way that the pain can stop is if you have some kind of contact with them, that if they respond to your message, or if you talk to them on the phone, or if you see them. It seems that the only way that the pain can stop is if you have any contact with them. And it's good to be aware of this, because awareness is the first step of healing. Whatever you are aware of, you are in charge. Whatever you are not aware of is in charge of you. The moment you know is the moment that you can do something about it. And if you being aware of what's happening, what are the psychological reactions in your brain, actually it helps you, because it makes you realize that all of the emotions that you are feeling it goes beyond the love that you think that you still have for your ex. That romanticism, that maybe they were the one. It's not that they might be the one, maybe, but it's not about the love. It's actually your brain freaking out. It's actually your brain freaking out. And it's good to know that. It's good to know.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to your answer on that one. It makes sense, though. I mean, when you sit back and listen to it, I'm like, it totally makes sense. Are you having one-on-one sessions in person or via an app? Are you doing it online, Zoom? How are you doing your one-on-one sessions?
I work online. Yeah, I don't work in person. I have clients, thanks goodness, I have clients all over the world. Not in every country, but I have clients in the US and in Europe. I have clients everywhere, and working via Zoom has given me the opportunity to be able to work with more and more people. Thanks goodness. And so yeah, I do my sessions via Zoom.
Do you recommend a certain amount of sessions, or it just depends on the relationship?
It all depends on the client. Yeah, it all depends on the client, and it all depends on the client and the situation and what they are working on and what they need to heal and what is their goal, what is it that they want to achieve.
Okay. how can people break a negative pattern of continuously choosing the wrong partner? Like, we date people and you're like, you know, they kind of look the same, they kind of act the same. Why do we keep doing that? How can we break that pattern?
Well, the reason why we do that is because you can understand something with your logic mind. You can understand that something is not good for you. You can understand that, yeah, that someone is not good, that someone is toxic, that you shouldn't be with them. You can understand that with your logic mind. Mm-hmm. But unless the shift happens on the unconscious level, your neurons will keep asking for the same over and over and over again. That's why a lot of people, when you see someone, I don't know, what's wrong with her or what's wrong with him? Why do they keep going back to that toxicity? Why do they keep going back to that person? It's not that that person is not smart. It's not that that person is masochist or doesn't want to be happy. It's not that. It's that they haven't healed on the unconscious level. They don't know what they don't know. So their neurons keep asking for that toxic thing because it hasn't been healed on that level, so it will keep being repeated. And how do you break that? I think the answers itself at this point, like, it's by doing unconscious healing, by really healing from the root cause and not from the surface. Because if you try to heal what happened here with this person, with this ex, it's just from the surface. It's not going to really solve the problem. As again, for the things that we're experiencing with someone or in our life, it's just a layer of a layer of a layer of a layer. There is actually something beneath that, underneath all of this, that when you get rid of this, boop, none of the other things that were giving you some trouble will matter anymore.
I mean, I think a lot of our guests need to work in these areas. We need to come see you. Oh, I only have 2 more questions for you, and I know I've kept you for a long time. Is it healthy to have a divorce party?
It all depends. It all depends on the approach, right? As I say earlier, intention is powerful. Intention is very powerful. Intention is everything. And depending on the intention behind of the divorce party, I would say, like, if the intention is, what's the intention? Yeah, I will ask myself, what's the intention? What's the purpose in this divorce party? And if the intention in the party is to elevate yourself and to heal in a deeper level, and not to add more to the resentment or to the resentment or anything that you lived with them, I think it could be a fantastic way of moving on and celebrating yourself. But I will definitely check in with myself. What's the intention of this party? Like, what is the true intention? And yeah.
Okay, great. So, Joana Lopez, how can we reach you? How can our audience?
I lost you.
Get more information? How can they get in touch with you?
You can find me at joanalopez.com, Joana with 1 N. You can find me on Instagram as Your Breakup Therapist. And yeah, you can find me there. I'm working on some really good resources, free resources for you guys. You can go on my website. If you want a consultation, you can get a consultation there. Yeah, so Facebook, Joana Lopez, Instagram, at Your Breakup Recovery, at Your Breakup at Your Breakup Therapist.
Okay, we're all human.
My favorite word, at Your Breakup Therapist, and my website is joanalopez.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Joana Lopez. I'm so happy that we had you as a guest on our show. Like, so many of us need healing, and I think you're like the first step or the first person we should reach out to. And she's so much fun too. You guys got to check out her Instagram.
Thank you so much. It has been a lot of fun. Good luck. And thanks. Thank you for everything. And remember, as you heal, the world heals. The world heals. So it is a responsibility to really heal. It's really a responsibility.
I totally agree with you. I definitely need to link up with you. Thank you so much, Joana.
Okay, sending you a big hug and talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.